Hey guys, today we're gonna talk about how to construct and interpret a confidence interval. And in the previous lesson, we learned how to calculate the interval, how to check conditions. Today we're gonna put everything we learned together and put it in a 4-step process. And there's a very important note in the AP Stats, the 4-step process is very important. Every time you see people ask you to construct and interpret a confidence interval, you always need to lay out your 4 steps and write your answer step by step. Okay, so I pull up the PowerPoint from our Google Classroom, and we're gonna look at what is the 4-step process and how to construct and interpret a confidence interval. First of all, you need to state the parameter you want to estimate and confidence level. So basically, for the confidence interval, we want to the state will be we want to gauge how many percent confidence interval. The percentage is your confidence level for the proportion. Right now, in 8.2, we only talk about proportion. And number 2, you need to identify the appropriate inference method and check for conditions. So far, we only learned one sample z interval for proportion, so that's what you want to put in here. And later on, we're gonna talk about t interval for mean, and that is another story. We will cover it in 8.3. And step number 3, in number 2, you also need to check if all the conditions are met. Number 3, if all the conditions are met, you need to perform the calculation, use the formula. And number 4, you need to draw your conclusion according to the confidence interval you find in step 3. You need to interpret a confidence interval in the context of the problem. Okay, so basically, we just need to lay out the first step and then fill in what each step they're asking for. All right, let's look at an example. So a recent poll of 738 randomly selected cell phone users found that 170 of the respondents admitted to walking into something or someone while talking on their cell phone. Okay, so this 738 will be your sample mean. Will be your sample size. I'm sorry, and then find 170 of them admitted to walking into something or someone while talking on their cell phone. So 170 out of 738 will be your sample proportion. Okay, let's keep reading. Construct and interpret. If you see construct and interpret, you need to know, okay, now we need to write it down our four steps, our 4-step process, okay? And then interpret a 95% confidence interval. 95% is your confidence level for the proportion of all cell phone users who would admit to walking into something or someone while talking on their cell phone. All right, so let me get myself back. All right, so we said the 4-step process, the first step will be state. Okay, state, you're gonna talk about what exactly you're looking for. So over here, we're looking for the 95% confidence interval. Confidence interval. For what? You need to be clarified for what, okay? For the proportion, they ask you to find a 95% confidence interval for the proportion of all cell phone users who admit to walking into something or someone while talking on their cell phone. You just need to write it down exactly what they are asking you to find. Give me a second. Let me write this down, and you write it on your paper as well. Okay? All right, so this is your state. You're gonna state whatever you are looking for, and then you need to make your plan. Your plan is basically talking about you're gonna identify the appropriate inference method and check for conditions. So over here, your plan will be what inference you want to use. You want to, and over here, if you look at the PowerPoint before, we talk about our plan is to use one sample z interval for proportion. Okay, over here we only have one sample. Okay. Okay. All right, so our plan is use one sample z interval for proportion. Give me 1 second. Let me see if this works. Okay, very good. So, and then now we need to check for condition. So condition, last week we talked about there are 3 conditions. Number 1, we want to see if it's random or not. Okay, let me go back to the question very quick with you. All right, in the question they said, okay, this is not the question, here we go. A recent poll of 738 randomly selected cell phone users. So since it's randomly selected, we check it is random. Okay, so over here, so random, you're gonna write it down, random. All right, let me change the display. So we all know over here is checking conditions, okay? So random is randomly selected (738) okay, so random check. Random, because they said randomly select 738 cell phone users. And then we need to check for 10% condition. We want to see our sample size, n equals to 738, if it's less than 10% of n. Okay, so n is all the cell phone users. So over here we can say, we can assume n equals to 738 less than 10% of n, which is all cell phone users. Over here makes sense because like 10% of the n is 738, which means your n just need to be greater or equals to 7,380. You can imagine like all the cell phone users will be greater than that number, right? Okay, so 10% condition, we check. Okay, no problem. And the next one, we're gonna charge for large count condition. Large count condition is saying n times p have to greater than 10, n times 1 minus p also need to greater than 10. Okay, over here we have equal. All right, so at the beginning we said n is 738 and the proportion will be 170. Okay, will be 170 divided by 738 over here, which I get 0.2304. Okay, so over here, let's calculate n times n is 738 times 0.2304. If you actually get this number in the calculator, you will have around 170. Okay, this 170 is greater than equal to 10. Okay, and then you're gonna check n times 1 minus p. So 738 times 1 minus 0.2304. Okay, so over here, use your calculator. Get what I got is 568. This number is also greater or equal to 10. Therefore, our large count condition also check. Okay, so this is all you need to do with plan that step. You need to find what inference you're gonna use, one sample z interval for proportion, and then you're gonna check for condition of these three. Okay, all right, so this is my first two steps, state and plan. Okay, and then I will erase everything and I will give you more information about the other two, do and conclude. All right, so if you want to write down the note, you can pause the video for a second and I will erase it. Let's keep going. All right, next step, we need to actually find the confidence interval, which is our do step. Okay, and according to confidence intervals formula, okay, and we just need to figure out each part. So P sample proportion P, we already get it. I just erased that. Let me write it again. Y17, 738, approximately 0.2304. Okay, this is our sample proportion, and then we got our sample size is 738. We already talked about that. Okay, and now the problem is, what is Z star? Last time we talked about Z star. How to find Z star? We need to see what is the area in the middle, and we're gonna check for in the table. So this time we want to use 95% confidence interval. Okay, which is in between of negative Z star and Z star is 95%. Okay, which lead to each part is 2.5%. You just need to use the one which is the area under the under your what's that called? What's that called? I don't remember. Okay, under the picture is 1, subtract by 95% is in the middle, divided by 2, you get 2.5%. So basically, we want to see what is the negative Z star is, use this 2.5%. 2.5% is 0.025. Okay, we're gonna use this as area and find your Z score. So let's look at the Z table. It's also in your Google Classroom, and we want to find 0.025. Okay, so 0.02122, and let's see, 5 is over here. You see that? 0.025. So our negative Z star is negative 1.9.6. Okay, 1.96. So our Z star is 1.96. All right. So we know our negative Z star is negative 1.96. So our Z star is 1.96. Okay, so that's how you get Z star. So you're gonna put everything, plug everything back to your formula. P 0.2304 plus or minus, okay, forgot to multiply Z, Okay, 1.96 times 0.2304, 1 minus 0.2304. Okay, divided by 738. And when you put in the calculator, you're gonna put in plus and minus separately. Okay, so first of all, you need to put plus over here, get the answer, which is your upper bound, and then you put minus over here, get the answer, get your lower bound. After everything you do, and you will get the answer 0.2 and 0.2608. I don't have that much space, so I will just make it smaller. All you need to do is just plug in the whole thing in the calculator, okay? So you have 0.2 and 0.2608, right? So you got your confidence interval here. And this is our step 3. Then you're all done with step 3. And next step you're gonna do is gonna make your conclusion. Okay, for the conclude part, basically you just need to interpret the confidence interval. Remember how to interpret it? You need to say, well, how many % confident of blah, blah, blah. Okay, so over here you will have, all right, you will have, we are how many %? 95% confident that that, okay, the interval from 0.2 to 0.2608 captures that the true proportion of, okay, I'm running out of space. All right, I'm gonna just do dot, dot, dot. I will read it for you, okay? We are 95% confident that the interval from 0.2 to 0.2608 captures that the true proportion of all cell phone users who would admit to walking into something or someone while talking on their cell phone. Okay, so we're saying our true proportion should be in this interval, and we are 95% confidence of that. All right, so this is the everything about example 4. So you have 4 steps. I understand it is a lot of steps to do, but in the extended response in AP test, it's very important to include all the information you can provide. Okay, all right. So this is this question. Please feel free to pause the video and write it down what you need to write. Okay, all right. So since we already get here, and you can just try it yourself later on, and in tomorrow's session I will go over example number 5 with you. Well, I will probably go over another example with you. And another thing I want to include in this session is the calculator instruction. All right, and again in the classroom, I told you guys how to download a free version of calculator in your Android phone. Please check that out. Okay, and if you have a calculator, here's your instruction for calculator. So for example, the how to get the confidence interval for the last question, let's do it together using calculator. All right, so all right, let me get my face back here. All right, so you need a calculator. Okay, all right, and then first of all, you need to press stat. Okay, you're gonna press stat. Okay, and then you're gonna find test. You're gonna go right 2 step. You get the test. Okay, and then you're gonna go down to prop z interval. okay, which is on mine is A, the option capital letter of A. All right, this camera is not, I don't know how to do that. All right, and then you're gonna choose your X as your how much success in your sample. So which is 170 in our case. And N is your sample size, 738. And your C level, which is your confidence level, is 0.95. It's 95%. And then you hit calculate. And then you will get, okay, something went wrong with mine. Let me try again. Stat 1 interval. Oh, 170. Okay. All right. After you calculate, you see your first, this is not working at all. Okay. Hi camera, can you work? But anyway, like over here, you will have on the first line, you will have from 0.199997, which is our 0.2, we got it over here, and 0.26073. It's over here. Okay, so obviously for multiple choice question, this is awesome way to get your answer, but in extended response, I will highly recommend you to do all the process, because when they grade the extended response, they grade your step by step. Even though you get this answer wrong, you lay out everything here right, they will give you a lot of points. But if you just use calculator, something went wrong here, which means your answer is wrong, you get all the points take off. So please don't super rely on calculator, do this. Okay, all right, so the first step instruction, that's all I have for you today. And then follow on, I will have a tiny little video for helping you how to choose sample size in a sample proportion. All right, so I will upload that video on Wednesday, and I hope you have a great week and do your homework, do your work, stay strong, and I love you guys. See you soon. Bye bye.